Hey everyone, Jay here. Please thumbs up the video, it helps a lot. Today I want to talk about the class and leveling method that I will be using in the upcoming Season 3, as well as just kind of give you a little bit of tips that you can also use to level up a little bit faster in the upcoming season. This video is going to assume that you're going to want to play at your own pace and solo play the entire way through. This is by no means going to be the fastest leveling method out there, but it does work very well. The past 2 seasons it has taken me roughly about 7 or 8 hours to level up to 70. It may go a little bit faster for you depending on how much time you actually have devoted to playing per day. For Season 3, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be rolling a wizard. I have played that class in the past. I miss playing it. I just got a little burnt out playing the Firebird Wizard. So I'm really excited about the changes coming in patch 2.2. I think I'm going to go back to wizard for Season 3. I really love the slow time set and the changes they've made to that on the PTR right now. I haven't got a lot of time to really play with it, but I did collect the slow time set and I have played around with it quite a bit, and I'm really actually loving it. One of my main focuses of Season 3 is combining the 6-piece bonus of the slow time set with the 2-piece bonus of the Taurasha set. I think those two will really synergize well together, and as long as you gear up and get gear to complement that, I think it's going to be a highly fun build to play. Another build I want to try, this also involves a slow time set, is I want to make a frozen orb build. The new Triumvirate is going to be best in slot, clearly, if you're going to be running frozen orb. Increasing the damage by a certain percentage and stacking up to 3 times is going to be pretty awesome, with the bonus damage or the bonus to the damage already given from the slow time set to Arcane Orb. It's going to make it pretty powerful. I'm really excited to combine that build with the new Ice Blink gem. I think that's going to be a really good boost to cold builds, especially paired with Bane of the Trap, the other legendary gem. Both of those could be a lot of fun. Now let's kind of go over the leveling method I will be using. Like I mentioned before, I have used these in the past 2 seasons and will continue to use them in Season 3. You first have to make sure that you do have at least one character on your account to level 70. This is going to unlock the adventure mode, and when you're doing leveling for seasons, you really only want to be leveling in adventure mode. You just don't want to mess with story mode at all. Once you get your Season 3 character started, you really just want to tackle bounties first. I would say do these on normal mode first, as you don't have a lot of gear or ways to craft it right away. You really want to just also stick with doing Act 4 bounties. They are the easiest and quickest bounties to do. If you do land the Kill Diablo bounty, you're going to want to go ahead and just restart your game. That is the most annoying bounty at this point in the game. The maps for Act 4 are not that big. They don't really change much at all. For example, if you actually happen to land the Kill Rakanoth bounty in the Library of Fate, it is always on the left side of the map. Never changes. It is always on the furthest left side. Once you get used to the Act 4 bounties, you will run them faster and faster. You want to collect about 30 to 40 rift keys. That should be enough to last you all the way through the leveling process and even once you hit 70. After you do collect your 30 rift keys, you need to switch to doing just rifts for the remainder of the leveling process. This will provide great experience and a higher chance at legendary drops that will help make the process easier. The legendaries by no means will be super powerful, but at your level they will be, and they will help you level faster. You really want to focus on always improving your weapons. That's going to be the best thing you can do while you're leveling. The more damage you can put out, the faster the enemies will die. Another thing to consider is your difficulty level. You have normal, hard, master, expert. Honestly, you really want to probably stick to hard. It gives a nice little 75% bump to experience gained, and the monsters still die relatively easy. Just depends on your gear and what you're getting lucky enough to get dropped for you. Alright, cool. Now let's go over just a couple little tips for you. Let's talk about the artisans first of all. So, as you know, you have 3 artisans. You have your blacksmith, you do have your jeweler, and then up here at the very top, you also have your mystic. Now, for leveling, the blacksmith is your first and should be your only priority. The faster you get him leveled up, the quicker you get gear crafted for you. The better gear you have, the faster the leveling process is going. Since at the jeweler, you really can't craft anything but until level 60, you really shouldn't mess with her. Worrying about gem combination is not necessary while you're leveling. Same thing with the Mystic. You really don't want to bother. You're not going to be re-rolling stats at lower levels because you will be switching gear quite a bit as you level up. Now make sure also right here, you want to always have a socket in your helm. While you're leveling, of course, one of the better gems to use is going to be the ruby. Now, you're not always going to have a flawless royal ruby off the bat, so just get the best ruby available to you at whatever level you're at. Once you hit 61, you will start getting Marquise rubies, so automatically you're going to increase your bonus experience by 33%. But as you level up before then, you just want to kind of use whatever you have at the moment. Another thing that you can also do is if you get the cane set, craft it. The extra experience from the cane set is going to be amazing, especially if you're going to be solo playing through Season 3. Alright, now, one of the most important things that you can do during your rift runs, make sure you're doing full rift clears. This is one of the most important things. Do not stop after the Rift Guardian. Keep going. You want to stretch those keys as far as possible. You really only need about 10 to 15 once you actually hit level 70, but make sure you stretch out those keys as far as possible. As I've already mentioned, make sure to set the difficulty to something you're comfortable with as well. It should only be taking you 2, 3, maybe 4 hits to kill mobs. Maybe a little bit more for elites and for blue champion packs, but overall it should only be taking you about 3 hits to kill mobs. If you're sitting there whacking away, you really need to think about lowering your difficulty setting. Otherwise, the experience bonus you get from the higher difficulties is not going to mean much if you spend most of your time killing monsters. So now with the right gear and skills, you should be clearing even hard very fast. The monsters are going to melt away. Speaking of skills, they really don't matter. Find what works best for you. Until you hit max level, you're really not going to worry about builds and specific builds for your class. You're just going to want to find things that work for you. What is killing the mobs the fastest? For example, in Season 2 when I was leveling up my monk, once I got the Wave of Light rune, explosive light, it was pretty much over from that point on. I used that ability as my main damage dealer the rest of the leveling process. It was the most efficient and highest damaging skill I had, and it was working very well. So I kept running with it, and I never got bored with it. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about level 70. So once you hit level 70, where do I go from there? So the first thing you're going to be concentrating on is getting into T1. That's going to be extremely important. So here's a little tip. Once you hit level 70, like I said, make sure to keep about 10 to 12 rift keys. One thing that you want to do right away, and it may not be the most efficient, but you want to kind of slag your way through a T1 rift. The reason being, the Rift Guardians have the chance to drop a trial key as long as you're running a T1 or higher rift. If you get really lucky, the first Rift Guardian will give you a trial key. Now T1 as a fresh level 70 is not going to be easy. You're probably going to die a lot, and it's going to take a while. But you really want to get that level 1 trial key. Once you do get the trial key, like I said, just go ahead and trial and cheese it. You don't really want to kill any mobs. Start the trial, port back to town. You'll get a level 1 greater rift, and then just work your way through all the lower levels. Each time you kill the greater rift guardian, he's going to drop a legendary gem. And you want to try and collect as many gems as you possibly can. There are 2 in particular, the Toxin Gem and the Pain Enhancer Gem. These gems alone will make it more comfortable to run T1 rifts. The dot that you get from critically hitting with Pain Enhancer, and then anything you touch with the Toxin Gem gives an automatic dot. So those 2 gems alone will help you get into T1 much more comfortably. You do want to get into T1 as fast as you possibly can, because that's where you can start farming the set items and everything like that. As you level, by the time you get to level 70, you easily have 500 blood shards. So you want to start gambling on at least one item that could be build changing. So if you were running a monk, I would probably suggest maybe gambling on boots first to try and get the crudest boots. Those are hands down some of the best boots you can get for that class. As for my Crusader here, when I hit level 70, I actually started doing belts because I really like the belt of the Trove, the bombardment belt as I call it. So I really started gambling on that first and was not as lucky. It's not as, I would like the 6 seconds, but it's not bad either. Once you start getting all the set items you need, you'll start working your way gradually through the different torment levels, and eventually you'll be able to start farming the greater rifts as well. Another thing that you might want to consider is the Ring of Royal Grandeur. So we all know by now what this does and how beneficial it is, but what you don't know is you don't need it right away. A lot of people make the mistake that as soon as they hit 70, they start farming the Ring of Royal Grandeur. It's not necessary. You need to farm all the other gear first before you need to worry about this. The drops are much better in Torment 4, so maybe once you are able to start running Torment 4 a lot more comfortably, it will make farming the Ring of Royal Grandeur much easier, especially if you can go up to T5 or T6 as well. After you get comfortable with T6, that's when you want to worry about starting the Greater Rift farming. As you know, Season 2 wasn't very long. It ends actually tonight, which would put it right about the month-and-a-half mark. Not very long for Season 2. 1 was incredibly long, and then Season 2 super short. So what I'm really hoping is that Season 3 will be somewhat in between that. I pretty much know that Blizzard was just pushing out Season 3 to start so soon because they have a very amazing patch coming next week as well. Patch 2.2 is going to be on Tuesday the 7th. That's looking like it's going to be a great patch, and it's going to have a lot of cool item changes and set changes. So make sure you get ready for that. And as far as that goes, just enjoy Season 3 for what it is. Hopefully it's a little bit longer than Season 2 and definitely still shorter than Season 1. Hopefully they'll figure out some kind of compromise there. Alright, well that's all I have for you today. So make sure to subscribe and comment below and thumbs up the video. Thank you so much. Bye.